back to D-Town TV, the free show for DSLR shooters. My name is RC, and I am here with the incomparable Mr. Larry Becker. What's going on, Larry?
How you doing, RC?
Doing good, doing good.
Getting ready for the 4th.
I know. It's just been one of the... Oh, did you see my 4th picture?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to take a look at this. Here, hold up. You just said 4th, and I'm like, 4th, watch. So I went out to do, I was doing an article on shooting fireworks.
Right.
And things that you need to keep in mind when you're shooting fireworks. Matter of fact, that'd be a pretty cool tip.
Except for the fact that this is going to air a day after.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was just like, oh, that'd be really, really cool. So here, look. Palm tree fireworks at Disney.
Nice.
Right? So I was talking about how to shoot fireworks and how to work with them. And I went out to Disney to make some pictures. And the way the fireworks were kind of coming up, I was like, what if I dragged a lot of the shutter? And then this was the firework going up. And then that was the explosion.
That's awesome.
And I was like, they look like palm trees. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, that worked out
that is
amazingly
very cool.
well.
It is very cool.
But yeah, no, it was cool.
Yeah.
Not bad. What about you? What'd you do?
What did I do for the 4th? Barbecue family. I didn't barbecue my family, but I was with my family for barbecue.
Yum, yum, yum. I'm sure your family was very tasty. But anyway, so what are we doing on the show?
I've got a tip, and then you've got something later in the show, and then we've got a Brad grip tip. Yay, the return of Brad Moore. I know he's got like a huge fan base.
That's right. Brad is here. Brad is going to show us something on a bag, on a Kata bag. So,
yeah, very cool stuff.
Well, take us through what you got.
So you and I have both talked about tips for a model release. And there's a model release app, and we love the model release app. But there's an app that I use on the iPad. So if you have an iPad, you absolutely have to get this app. And it's a very, very popular one. It's called Noteshelf. And it's actually just for creating digital written ink notes. It does typing too, but nobody ever uses it for that. So have a look here at Noteshelf, and I'm going to take you in just real quick. This is, it just shows you that you've got the ability to write with digital ink on screen. So just do this on screen. Okay, so you can kind of see what it does. But inside this app, I have a whole bunch of different papers that I've created. So you can create notebooks on your note shelf, and you can create custom papers. And this is the only app like this that I've seen that you can create your own custom papers. So I've got a little notebook here, and inside this particular one, I have a model release already in there. And so now what I can do, and this app also has this ability, it's got the iPad camera built in. So let me shoot RC. There we go. And I'm going to use that. So there's a giant picture of RC. We'll scale it and put it up in the corner. And so now you've got an actual picture of your model. And go ahead and hit paste. And I've got the whole, the background paper, this document that's already kind of filled out, and then you just have to write in the model's name and stuff like that. Actually, I have wrist protection on, so it's not showing up. There we go. So the model will write in name, date, and your witness, and all that good stuff. Okay, so all that stuff happens, and you put all that stuff in there. Then you tap on the binoculars at the top right, and it takes you to this page that allows you to email. So you can export, you can send it to a printer, you can email it as a PDF. So choose PDF, choose export to email, and then it'll actually allow you to send this as an attachment. And what's really nice about this, you do have to have the language, you know, the wording for the model release. But what's really nice about it is it's not a separate model release app. It's an app like a lot of people will use for taking notes anyway. And you might be with your iPad on scene and taking reference photos and things like that anyway. And it's just great to have something like that in here. So yes, you can absolutely do you know, handwritten notes. And yes, there is a separate model release app that's like 20 bucks, I think. And it has multiple model releases in it. But if you've got language for a model release, like if you've taken the Kelby training class with Jack Resnicki and Ed Greenberg. If you have that, then you can download from PDFs. You can download the language, and that's what I did. And then just paste it in there as your own sheet of paper, make up a whole notebook, and now I've got all my model releases in one place, and I can print them, email them, send them, give them to the model, and they can sign on the spot. One other real quick thing, I love the Wacom Bamboo stylus. That's my favorite, okay? But they are, sometimes I'll leave them behind by accident. And this one I just always stick in my pocket. It's a shorty, and it's a ballpoint pen, and a stylus, and I got it for 10 bucks at Walgreens. So that's my cheap shot portion of this tip.
Nice.
So
very, very cool. And you know what? It's like more and more, I'm actually doing less and less of model releases on iPads.
Yeah.
Like I actually, more often than not, I'll keep Catherine Hall, photographer Catherine Hall, has a model release app that she has for her phone. That I always have my phone. I kind of sometimes forget my iPad, so I tend to keep it on the phone. But more often than not, what I do is I'm printing releases and I'm sticking releases inside of my wallet.
that's a good idea.
Because I think that one of the things that happens with that is I tend to not draw attention to myself. I have this very kind of weird, kind of when I go out and shoot, I'm just like, and I don't want to draw attention to the fact that I'm a big photographer.
Right.
So if when I show up and I'm showing all these things, then I'm like, here's this release, to start looking at it. But if I'm like, oh, I need a release, 1 second, I have one right here.
Yeah, and it's all folded up. Yeah, so there's some psychology behind which kind of model release you use. I have some that are
But then I've lost releases. So you're not going to lose a release.
That's true.
I've lost releases. So there's a benefit to that. So that's actually pretty cool.
Very good.
I like it. Anyway, so do we want to take a quick break? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're taking a break.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
When we come back, I want to show you a couple of things in Lightroom that are just kind of housekeeping things and take you through a post-processing.
Oh, and Brad.
We've got Brad, the return of Brad, and a whole bunch of gifts. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name's Dave Black. I want to welcome you to our light painting set right here on location. Light painting is one of the most stylized approaches to lighting and photography that there is. It's a very artistic approach. It's not with strobes, large power packs. It's all done with flashlights and mobile light sources. Very stylized, very exciting stuff. You can do it. I can teach it to you right on my video at kelbytraining.com. So come join me at my light painting class.
And we are back. And you know what? Dave Black is a master at light painting. He does a really, really great job. He does a lot of really cool things with lighting that I just had never thought about before. And then you see some of the stuff that he pulls off. It's incredible.
I'm going to confess to you something right now. Which is confession cam? Camera 2? Is it camera 2 over there? Confession
yeah, that's
cam?
confession cam, yeah.
Confession cam here. Dave Black, I just taught a workshop at Bodie, and we had to do a whole bunch of HDR. I was doing a lot of HDR, and obviously I was in my element. Where I wasn't in my element is when they turned around and they said, hey, it's 11 o'clock at night. We're going to be doing light painting the following day. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? I have no idea what I'm going to do. So you know what I did? I turned on my iPad. I signed on to my Kelby Training membership. And as I was in the shower the following morning, I'm scrubbing through lessons. And I'm going, okay, I'm listening. I'm not even watching. I'm just taking a shower. I know you don't want the visual. But I'm taking a shower, and I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to the Dave Black class.
I think the confession cam has heard enough of it.
And by the time I got everything ready and packed all my gear and did all of the stuff, it was maybe about an hour and change or something like that. By the time it was all said and done, I was like this. I can do some stuff. And I pulled out some really, really cool light painting. Is no Dave Black stuff, but I pulled it off, and I think that was the key. One of the things that I like about Kelby Training is the fact that it is so fast, very, very in-depth, that I was able to rely on that. And I was like, no, what a better testament than for a Photoshop guy to go, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing, and still be able to pull it off. So take a look at kelbytraining.com, download it for your iPad. Take a look at Dave Black's class. You're going to absolutely love it. I have just housekeeping stuff, just a couple of things that you may not necessarily know inside of Lightroom that I thought would be kind of cool for you to kind of keep under your hat. So when I'm working with Lightroom, a lot of the times I have a very specific workflow. What I'll do is I'll grab all of the images that are coming into my shoot, and Ron, like our IT guy was talking about this. He's like, well, how do you work through stuff? And what I'll do is this. I'll come into a shoot, and more often than not, I usually just use XP. So I take one finger and I put it on the X, one finger and I put it on the P, and then I'll go ahead and go through a shoot. Now, this is just me playing around with this shoot. But here, I'm going to double click, and I see one picture. Not a very good one, right? You see, clipped off right here. So right off the bat, what I'll do is I'll hit the letter X. Automatically gets rid of it. I tend to shoot in brackets. I'll shoot in brackets at 3 when I'm outside because I want color. I never really know, so I'm going to hedge my bet. I'll bracket 3. That's not good. That's not good. And all I'm doing is just hitting X, 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 X. When I find the one that I want, right, X, that's the one that I want. I'm going to hit the letter P. Moves to the next one. You know what? I also want that one. So I'm going to go P. P, 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 X, 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 X. And I'm going to continue to do this. And look at this. This is the one that I really want. P, I'm going to take that. I don't want this one. And I continue this process. I do this really, really fast when I'm working through stuff. And I'm sitting there literally going like this. If I have to think for 1 second about whether or not I want a picture or not, I'm going to hit the right arrow. What that's going to do is it automatically sets me up in a spot where you'll see that there are blocks of images that have been picked, blocks of images that have not been picked. So at that point, all I need to do is just sort under my attributes under images that have not been flagged yet. So you come over here, you set for unranked pictures, and then you're good to go. That makes it a lot easier for you to find the files that you're looking for. Now, once you do that, you can go ahead and you can actually find and further tweak most of that stuff by just kind of doing 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars. But a lot of the major work that you're doing, you're going to do by just doing X and Ps and X and Ps and X and Ps. Now, once you get the image that's done, then after that, let's just say, for example, I'm going to drag over here, and let's just close this out. Let's say that this is the image that I want to work with, right? And say this is the file that I want. Right. Oh, actually here. Recently, I just did a race. We'll go to that one. You guys can see my race pictures, which was a very, very good time. So here's a picture, right? So there's shots of cars, right, that we want to work with. If this is the shot that I know that I want to work with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the letter 8, or the number 8. The number 8 shows that this is a green shot. That's my to process. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of all the garbage, get rid of all of the trash, and then I go, these are the works that I want to work with. I flag them by color. Then from here, once I have that flagged by color, I can go, all right, that's the shot. I can quickly see across the screen, out of all of these pictures, that's the one that I want to work on.
Okay.
So from here, I'll go ahead and go into this, and I can say, all right, well, you know what? How do I want to work on it? I'm going to go to Plugin Extras, and I'm going to go to Perfect Photo Suite, which,
hey, we're giving that away.
Just happens to be this. Not too bad. So Perfect Photo Suite, we can get started. I like the fact that they make this actually very easy. Now, take a look at this. Perfect Photo Suite starts. I don't want to spend a lot of time playing around with this, and when I don't want to spend a lot of time playing around with it, this is where I go. Go to Perfect Effects. Inside of Perfect Effects, it pops up. Inside of here, I'm going to go to Vintage. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go, hey, what kind of effect do I want? Do I want this effect? Yeah, that's good. Do I want this effect? Yep, that's actually pretty decent. Yep. Once I'm done, click Apply. It adds the effect, adds the filter, grabs all of the stuff that I want. If I want to add more stuff to it, let's say I want to add a frame, come over here. I can pop out. I can do different types of frames. I'm going to close this out. How much work am I doing? How much heavy lifting is this thing doing for me?
RC, one of the things that's kind of key here is any tips that you can give people to move through the workflow more quickly. Because what we've done with digital photography is we have so many more pictures. And we're trying to teach people, take lots of pictures. And then what we have to work on is the back-end processing. And I think that's why this kind of thing is so helpful, is that there are a couple things that's going on here. One, you're going through your images to show people how to sort them quickly. But the other thing is, you're a Photoshop guy. You could do all that stuff yourself.
Absolutely.
Why don't you?
Because I don't want to spend the time doing it. That's the key point. So I'll let, a lot of the times I'm like, there's very specific creative things that I want to do. Right. There's times that I just kind of want to play around and I want to experiment and I want to explore. But then there's also times where I look at this stuff and I go, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do anything else. Right. I hit save. That takes care of all of the stuff for me. And what did I do? I just jumped in, did an effect, did another effect. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with something just being very, very special effects driven. That's fine. A lot of my work happens to have very specific special effects. How I get it done, I think is immaterial.
Right.
So,
I agree.
But anyway, what I wanted to talk about, the main point with all of this, I kind of got a little carried away talking about the software stuff. But the main point that I had with all of this stuff was this. I usually get rid of the garbage first, right? XP, XP, get rid of all of the garbage first. That makes it a lot easier for you to be able to focus on a shoot, then use your color systems to work on the shoots that you want. So you'll see right here, this is the one that I worked on. This was the original one. My worked on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it the number 6. So you'll see that right now, this is the one that I was working on. Red is finished. Makes it a lot easier for me to flag and organize. And even still, I can come over here, warm stuff up, off to a print, off to Facebook, off to wherever we wanna go.
Cool. You know what, anything to speed up the workflow, and I'm going to psychically preempt comments this week and say, yeah, post-processing is part of D-Town. It's absolutely necessary stuff, because as much as we enjoy shooting, post-processing is part of everybody's world, and if you can figure out ways to do it more quickly, more power to us all.
Speaking of power,
yes,
we have the man with all the power. He's back, baby. He's back. Brad Moore's back. Take a look at this grip tip.
Hi gang, Brad Moore here with another Grip Tips for D-Town TV. Today we're going to be talking about this Mac Sports Utility Folding Wagon. So this comes in red or green, this one's green. It has these all-terrain rugged wheels that can kind of go anywhere. You can put up to 150 pounds worth of stuff in it, anything that doesn't have wheels, you know, sandbags, stuff like that. And it folds up very compactly like this. Snaps together with the handle here to keep it from falling apart or coming apart. You can throw it in your car and just go straight to location. And when you get there, unfold it, put your stuff in, and away you go. It ranges from about $70 to $90. You can get it online at Kmart, Target, Amazon, any of those places. So that's it for Grip Tips this week.
welcome back to D-Town, the final segment of this show. RC, thank you very much for that demo, because
no worries,
what's really cool about that is it demos what we're giving away this week. And we know that you watch D-Town on a lot of different routes, a lot of different ways. You might be watching on YouTube channel or something like that, or Google+. But the way we work the contest is you need to leave a comment. And you're welcome to leave comments all over the place wherever you watch this show. However, if you want to be eligible to win this, you have to leave a comment, any comment, in the comments field at kelbytv.com/dtowntv. And the show notes for this episode, go down and scroll down and then write your comment there. That's how you get eligible to win this cool suite of software.
Right. Leave us a comment, tell us what's up.
Yeah, and you have a photographer for us to look at.
I don't have a photographer for you.
Okay, you don't. RC doesn't.
Do not.
What do you have?
A photographer for you. What I have is a website that I want you to go to. Take a look at this website right here. I'm going to zoom in really, really big, just in case I don't have it. Forget about my shortcuts. Don't look at my shortcuts. Don't look at my Pinterest stuff. Just look at this. mpix.com/hipmyhouse. Confession cam, number 2. Here's my problem. I bought a house. However, inside of my house, I have nothing. I got nothing, right? So I've got no pictures up. I've been working on a whole bunch of different things. I need to be able to put pictures in my house. As a photographer, you would think that I would have pictures all over the place, but I don't. And a lot of photographers do not. These guys took advantage of that, and they were like, dude, we should make a contest for people. All you have to do is sign up, you submit. If you win, they're going to give you $5,000 to pimp out your house with photography.
That's awesome.
So it was embarrassing because I had to admit to them, I was just like, yeah, I don't have a single picture in my house. I feel bad. But I signed up for the contest because you know what? I hope that they don't consider me a person that doesn't qualify because I want $5,000 to pimp my house.
That'd be sweet. I mean, everything that they produce, whether it's cutouts, and I can see in your home office, a big cutout of RC.
That's right.
That'd be cool.
You can come in, my daughter can hug it when I'm not there. If I'm on a workshop, she can just grab it. Just make a big standout.
But they do everything. They do framed stuff, and they do canvas wraps, and just all kinds of stuff that would be great, and you don't have to put it all in your house. You can actually put it in, you can use it as gifts to give to other people.
Mm-hmm. You know what I use them a lot for? I use them a lot for photo books.
Photo books, yeah.
So whenever I print something and I do something, I'll for a client, I'll just throw it into a photo book real quick. I use their Rose system. They have an MPix Pro section.
Yeah.
I use that, just drag. A couple days, it's all done.
mpix.com/hipmyhouse. Very
Sign
cool.
up for that. Anyway, sure. Thank you very much.
Likewise, thanks, RC.
It was really, really good to be here with all of you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Here on D-Town TV.
Bye, guys.